So for this week's particular discussion, I wanted to talk about something that, quite honestly, I've been trying to talk about on this channel, not just on this channel, but also on the website for a number of years. And it's becoming more and more prevalent nowadays that what I'm about to talk about here should be addressed. And I feel like this is something that it's been bugging me for so many years. But every time I get ready to do a post about this or to do a video about this, I always feel like I'm always going to keep something out that I wanted to cover. Like every time I get ready to do a post, I always have to figure out when is the right time to really do this. And quite honestly, I feel like now is probably the best time to really delve into this topic. And that is, of course, the fact that animation still gets treated like it's not important to anything in Hollywood. Like, animation really still feels like the little kid who, on Thanksgiving, he wants to sit at the big table so much. He wants to belong with all the other the live action stuff, the blockbusters, the action movies, the comedies, and all that. And the Hollywood parents are saying, nope, you got to sit at the little kids table because we don't respect you, because we like you, we think you do great for what we do, for what we're doing in our living, but we still don't want to recognize you as something important to the industry. So go ahead and sit at the kids' table, and we just won't acknowledge you while we're eating our lovely Thanksgiving dinner. You can talk with the other kids there. That's what it feels like when it comes to animation. And I'm saying this because you still get those people that clearly, when they write scripts for like award shows, like if you watch the Oscars this year or in other years past, they always have to treat animation like, not like it's part of it's a big deal with the other movies nominated. No, it has to be its own specific thing. The celebrities that they get to do this always has to talk about how, animation's the thing that keeps your kids quiet while you're doing something else. It's just like who is writing this that makes... whoever's writing those award shows really must hate animation for some reason whatsoever. Or it's just the Academy Awards in general. Remember that everyone threw a shit fit when Beauty and the Beast was nominated for Best Picture in '91, and everyone got like, well, it's an animated movie. It can't be considered one of the best pictures of the year. Why not? Beauty and the Beast is one of the best animated films of all time, and it acknowledges that, hey, animation is just as important as anything else out there. But nope, anytime we try to do that, somebody will say, well, I don't think it's fair. It's just like, fine, we'll just decide to make it its own category. I mean, we'll nominate it a couple times for some specific movies, like Toy Story 3 got nominated, so did Up. But if you think we're going to nominate the best an animated feature for Best Picture nowadays, you've got another thing coming, even though we hardly ever use all 10 nominees like we say we're going to. But, I mean, this has just been something that's been bugging me for so many years, and I feel like I need to say it again because people just don't get it. Animation is for everyone. Animation is for everyone. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are. Animation is just as important as anything live action related. And it's just getting to the point where now it feels like Hollywood is trying its hardest to make animation seem like the pariah, like the COVID-19 of the Hollywood movie industry. We don't want animation anymore. We just want to focus our attention more on the live action stuff. Like Disney is just like, it's for the last couple of years, just like, we have our animated classics, but you know what? The live action movies are what we really need to do. We need to make live action movies out of every animated film we've ever done. We don't care how bad the reception is, but the name brand will speak for itself, and people will rush to see it. Which technically they're true, but you leave a bad taste in your fan base's eyes when you do that. I mean, yeah, The Lion King was one of the biggest hits of 2019, but that was the beginning of what some people consider to be, kind of the first time they looked at Disney and go like, you're not the same company that we used to know you for. And I mean, it just feels like a lot of these movies and TV shows are trying so hard. There are people in the animation industry who are clearly working their asses off to make something as entertaining as something like the best Marvel movies or the best superhero movies or the best blockbusters in general, and yet you still get these people who keep pushing it around like it's no big deal, or like it's something that, like, it just really feels like I've been seeing this for the last couple of years now. And you know what? I said it last year when I saw Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and I've been saying it before, a number of times since then. I'll say it again here, and I think I know exactly why they're scared of animation. They're scared of animation. They're scared of it because it's kicking the ever-loving crap out of anything live action right now. Yeah, every once in a while you get a great live action movie like a Barbie or an Oppenheimer. I mean, there are a lot of good live action movies, but animation. Look at what some animation has done in the last 2 decades. I mean, look at some of the great movies and shows that have come since then. Look at some of the great shows that are clearly targeted for specific audiences, and yet there's a lot of universal appeal to other audiences. Like a show like My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic, for example. It's a show clearly made for girls, little kids, but because they have great talents that have done stuff like the Powerpuff Girls and Dexter's Laboratory, stuff we grew up with, and they're writing this not just as a show to sell toys, but hey, we've got this property, let's actually do something with it. You actually got some a pretty good show out of that. I mean, Steven Universe is another example of that. It's a show that could have easily been a show that could have just been, it could have been just another show to sell toys with, but no. They took chances with it. So did Adventure Time. So did Regular Show. I mean, a lot of animated shows. Avatar: The Last Airbender is probably one of the best examples of that. That and The Legend of Korra. I mean, just now we have Bluey. If you've been watching Bluey in the last year, especially with the last couple of episodes, you know that this show, it's clearly appealing to the kids, but adults can look at this and realize that, hey, this isn't just some dumbed down show. This is a show that appeals to me because it tackles subject matter that I as an adult can relate to, especially with these last couple of episodes we just had. Like it's weird because they really do not. It feels like there's a lot of great animation out there, and nobody even really wants to cover it unless it's making them a ton of money or something that, or is it at least something that should have been accepted as something on higher levels as some of the other the big movies that were nominated this past year, specifically Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. That's a film that should have been nominated for Best Picture. I mean, that should have been a Best Picture nominee easily because everyone loved it. It shows you that, hey, we can do more than live action can ever do. I mean, like I said, that movie shows you that animation is so much more important right now than live action right now in terms of storytelling, in terms of characters we can relate to, in terms of situations we can find ourselves involved in. I mean, there's just so much that animation can do, and I think these studios are really legitimately scared of that because it just feels like they're trying to push some of these live action projects so hard that, like, when they actually come out, most of them do not end up holding up as well as they probably should have. I mean, we get a couple. Again, there's those exceptions every once in a while, but when it comes to the animated films, there are so many good animated films that have been largely overlooked, and it feels like Hollywood knows that animation is something that should be getting more attention, but but we need to push it off to the side. It doesn't help when you have people like the head at Warner Brothers, David Zaslav, who just slashes anything animation-wise, especially the main brand of their company, the Looney Tunes. I don't think I need to tell you guys about the Coyote versus Acme situation because it still continues to get more and more unfortunate when that happens, and it's just like you just don't understand what is this David Zaslav's problem with Warner Brothers Animation. Like, what did it do to you? Like, it's just one of those things where I know I'm kind of rambling on here because this is just something that's been bugging me for so many years, and honestly I don't even think I'm saying the right amount of things that I want to say about this particular problem that's going on in the Hollywood industry. I think what really needs to happen is that Hollywood studios need to realize that animation is just as important as live action. They need to stop treating it like it's just like the black sheep of the family, like it's absolutely not important to them. Because those are the things that most people remember and most people look at. Look at what's going on with X-Men 97 now. Is what they're doing at X-Men 97, especially with these last couple of episodes. That's much stronger than anything I've seen in the live-action X-Men movies. And that's a show where, they're taking chances with it, and they're doing so much stuff in here that's just the drama is on par with stuff you'd see in live-action movies. The animation is so much better than people give it credit for. Like, it's a completely different idea of how you take those characters, and you can do it in a form like animation, because you have more free range to do whatever you want with it and be as creative as you want to do with it. There is a ton of great animation that many of you out there probably have never even heard of and should definitely check out. I've talked about it and recommended a lot of good animation that some of you may not have heard of in the last couple of years. And I mean, it just feels like we need to have that discussion, that we need to stop treating animation like it's just strictly for kids. It's not for kids. I mean, everyone can get into animation and find a lot to admire about it, whether it's something that's on par, like on something as high as Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, or even something that's clearly intended for target audiences, but can find universal appeal throughout other places, like, you know, Bluey and Steven Universe, My Little Pony, Blue's Clues, Dora, you name it. Like, you know, I mean, it's time to stop pretending that animation is not as important as some of the other aspects of what makes Hollywood what it is, because it just feels like every time animation tries to get any form of high praise, somebody wants to knock it down because it's just funny little cartoon drawings that shut your kids up. Like, no. If you've actually paid attention to Hollywood and pay attention to these movies and TV shows, then you know that that is not the case whatsoever. And you're just scared to admit that animation is beating your ass on so many different levels, because you can't even compare to what animation can do. And, you know, to me, that's something that I still feel like I have to defend on here. It's one of the few things that makes me continue doing this work on this channel and on the website, because I have to defend some stuff here that may not get most recognition by most people, but through this website, because I have somewhat of a built-in audience and people that take what I say and actually use it, take value from it. I think people can actually look at what I have to say and, you know, believe in that I'm actually telling you, that you should be definitely checking these things out. And that's one of the things that really keeps me doing this site. Like, the fact that I keep recommending stuff that most sites probably wouldn't even recommend to you, honestly. And that's just like, that's why I keep defending animation, because animation, I think, still does more than what live action does nowadays. Now, granted, I'm not saying that all live action is bad. You still get a lot of good live action, but the animation deserves a lot more proper respects and deserves to be on the same level as most live action entertainment fare than most animation is. So my bottom line is, because I've been rambling kind of a bit, the bottom line is what this video is basically about, is me saying we need to stop treating animation like it's a pariah. Animation is for everyone. I think everybody should give animation a chance. You've got a lot of great stuff that should be considered top tier stuff that most people just quickly look over because it's not based off of something that it's not, because it's not something that you would see on the same level as a big live action summer blockbuster. But no, animation is for everyone. There are so many great animated movies that you may not even have heard of out there that you should be definitely checking out. Even if it means you have to go to streaming to find it, you have to go through online to find them. Just look for this stuff and realize that animation is for everyone. Animation is for everyone. Animation is for everyone. Have I said it enough times to get it in your brain? Let me say it one more time. Animation is for everyone. And yes, I'm pounding my fist on the table because that's how much I believe that animation is for everyone. So yeah, I maybe did not do the best rundown of everything I wanted to cover here with this subject, but this was something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while now, and who knows, maybe I'll come back to this down the road. But if you did like what you see, hit the like and subscribe button, and check out the video that I did last week talking about the criminally underrated Brian Wilson biopic, Love and Mercy, and check out the other episodes I've done on the Review Network Talks About, and I will see you guys next week for another episode.